Let's review ASE test question development. Did you ever wonder who writes the ASE test question? ASE test questions are written by subject matter experts that come from various parts of the automobile service and repair industry. The automobile manufacturers, technicians that work in dealership shops, independent shops, technical trainers, and educators from the schools. Test questions are written by these individuals in a group format, and they're also reviewed by the entire group as a whole. Every test question that's written needs to pass the consensus of the group's approval in order for it to be considered to be used in an ASE test. This ensures that there will be no product-specific questions used in any of the ASE tests. A test question is written to create a diagnostic scenario that relates to one of the skills in the task list. After creating this diagnostic scenario, we have to provide 4 answer options. Now, 3 options are incorrect and 1 is correct. The incorrect options are technically qualified. In other words, we have to make sure that there's sound, fundamental technical reasons why that option is incorrect based on the scenario that we've written into the test question. Conversely, the correct answer that we're looking for, or the correct option, also has to be technically qualified. It has to be correct based on the diagnostic information and the scenario that we've created in the test question. This ensures that there's only one right answer to an ASE test question. But ASE doesn't simply rely on the consensus of the workshop group to determine whether or not the questions are accurate and ready for use to test technicians trying to earn ASE certification. ASE test questions go through a pretty extensive validation process. The way we do this is we take the newly written questions and we embed them in ASE exams. This gives us the opportunity for certified technicians or new technicians taking ASE tests to give us their opinion of how they answer the question. These questions are not considered in scoring. Remember, they're newly written and we're not scoring technicians pass-fail. What we're doing is we are gathering statistical information that gives us an idea whether or not the questions were clearly written, concisely written, and only had one right answer. We consider this performance testing for accuracy. The statistical data that we gather gives us an indication that all the technicians that are performing very highly on an exam went to the intended answer, and maybe the technicians that weren't performing well on an exam went to one of the incorrect options. This information gives us a very clear idea whether or not the workshop group, those subject matter experts, did a good job writing a question that was clear, understandable, and only had one right answer. ASE test questions are also written using a style that allows us to parallel the actual work situations in the shop. We also parallel the thought process used by technicians every day when they're performing their job. Most people think in a cause and effect type of relationship, but technicians actually think in the reverse of that. We think effect and cause. Effect and cause relationships are interesting because with an ASE test question, the effect are the symptoms and the test results that we give you in the setup of the question. The diagnosis is the cause, and that's the answer that you arrive at when you're selecting your answer to the test question. ASE test questions use 4 basic styles. The first style is called the completion style question. This type of question simply ends in a colon, and you're completing a statement by selecting your answer option. In this example, we show you that a vacuum gauge is connected to the intake manifold and the engine is run at 2,000 RPMs. During the test, the gauge needle fluctuates rapidly between 10 and 22 inches of vacuum. This could be caused by, there's a colon, and we have 4 answer options. Your answer option is going to complete that statement. We call this a completion style question. The next style question is called the direct style. Very similar to the completion style, however, this ends in a question mark. Your answer option answers the question. And in this example, the question is asking, which of these would most likely cause low fuel pressure in a fuel-injected engine? And you're simply selecting from the 4 options provided. The next style question is the Technician A, Technician B style question. This is probably the most misunderstood question style that ASE uses. The reason for this is most technicians don't really understand how to answer them and how they're structured. Let's review how that works. The Technician A, Technician B style question really are 2 technicians making independent true-false statements offering their diagnosis to a common problem. Let's use this example to illustrate this. A visual inspection of the catalytic converter reveals that the substrate is melted. That's the situation that these technicians each need to diagnose. Technician A is going to make his statement and you have to determine whether he's true or false. Separately, Technician B is going to make his statement and you have to determine if he's true or false. Determining if both technicians are right, both technicians are wrong, or one or the other is correct, you'll know which answer to pick. The last type of question is the least likely style question. For these questions, you select the option that could not cause the conditions outlined in the test question. Because these questions are different from all the others, we actually start the question with a statement that attentions you to the fact that you have to change your train of thought in order to answer these questions. For these type of questions, you can use the process of elimination as a means for analyzing the options of the question. 3 of the options will cause the conditions outlined, 1 will not. The answer you're looking to select is the one that will not cause the condition in the test question.